think they'll ever come out?
God, I hope so. I mean, I hope everybody ultimately will.
Yeah.
I hope everybody will ultimately see things more clearly than they can when they're sitting inside the bubble of Scientology, including my own children. But it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. And ultimately, in my experience, what happens is there is some straw that breaks the camel's back. Mm-hmm. And it's not that someone comes along and tells you Scientology's bad or this is bad or that's bad. It's some personal experience that you go through and you go, wait a minute.
You can't convince, one person can't convince another person. It has to happen from inside.
Exactly. You can then, if they're questioning or they have doubts or they're wondering what's going on, you can then give them information, and that often helps. Like, that's what happened with Leah. I mean, Leah was like, I don't get with this, and this doesn't make sense, and blah, blah, blah. And now you're saying this stuff about these people that I know, me being one of them, and she called me. Before she left Scientology, she called me and she said, I want to know what's true.
Right. What was the straw that broke the camel's back for her?
The incident at the wedding of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, where she asked, where's Shelley?
Who's Shelley?
Shelley is David Miscavige's wife, who's been disappeared for more than a decade, and nobody has heard from her or seen her.
Really? And she was at the wedding asking a bunch of people, hey, where she? I guess she was at the table with
She was
Tom
at the table and asked actually Tommy Davis, who was at that time, he had taken over from me as the international spokesperson of Scientology, and he was like the handler for Tom Cruise, and she asked Tommy Davis, and that's when he famously said, you don't have the fucking rank to ask. And that then resulted in her being ordered to come to Clearwater and scrub toilets and undergo.
That's what she was doing.
Yeah, undergo expensive sec checking, which is interrogation on the Scientology e-meter that she paid $300,000 for, and then she never got answers, and nobody would ever answer her, and that just sort of. That's not a good thing to do with Leah. Not like
Jesus, dude, that is insane.
When she gets onto something, she just does not stop. And so she ultimately just said, you know what? Fuck you people. I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this anymore. You won't tell me the truth. I'm not going to participate. And then...
This is after she gave $300,000?
Yep. She got that back.
Oh, really?
Yep.
How would you?
Unusually. No. She went... David Miscavige tried to handle her, and part of his handling was saying, yeah, that was all a mistake. That shouldn't have been done. The people that did that were all bad, and here's, I'm going to give you your money back.
Wow. That seems unlikely.
It's very unlikely. It's very unusual, and it's only that sort of treatment is reserved for celebrities in Scientology. Scientology celebrities get very different treatment than the run-of-the-mill suckers.
Scientology, the celebrities get a discount, right?
No. Sometimes they get shit for free, but they don't get a discount. They're expected to pay. I mean, paying is...
How much did you pay?
Nothing. I was a Sea Org member, so I get everything.
Oh, so Sea Org members don't
Sea Org members don't pay, but people who participate in Scientology that aren't employees do
Customers.
pay. Yeah, the regular customers do pay. And, it's a strongly held religious belief that you must pay for anything that you get in order to be in exchange, and that if you're not in exchange, no benefit will accrue to you from that which you get for free.
Okay.
So
where do you think Susan is, Miscavige's wife?
Shelley?
Oh, Shelley. Her name was Shelley?
Yeah.
That's
Michelle.
Michelle, and that's Leah was questioning where she was.
Yeah,
Do you have
where do
any
I
ideas
think-
where she might be?
Yeah, she's at a property that is one of these secret Church of Spiritual Technology locations that is up in the San Bernardino Mountains in Southern California. In fact, one of the episodes of The Aftermath, I went up there, and this PI jumped out of the woods and started like filming me and going, "What are you doing here?"
She's being held prisoner up there,
Well,
or like they're using
prisoner
her
of
as
belief.
a slave, rather.
Prison of belief.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You know, yes, there's barbed wire fences and cameras and lights and motion sensors, et cetera, around that property, just like there is at Gold. And that is a way of deterring people from trying to jump the fence or escape. But that's not what really keeps. I mean, if you want to get out, you can.
Mm-hmm.
And plenty of people have proven that. I mean, Valerie Haney escaped in the trunk of a car from Gold, from
Right.
that property, because she wanted to.
Who is Valerie?
She appeared on The Aftermath, and she was one of David Miscavige's assistants,
Okay.
or Shelley Miscavige's personal assistant, actually.
Wow.
And so Shelley is there because she believes that she is somehow in the wrong, or was in the wrong, or perhaps she believes that she is waiting for L. Ron Hubbard to return still, and that when he comes back, then everything will be sorted out, because she was with L. Ron Hubbard long before David Miscavige ever showed up.
Was she?
She was, when I arrived on the Apollo, Shelley was there, and she was like 12 or 13, I guess, and she and her sister, Clarice, worked directly for L. Ron Hubbard. They were his messengers. They ran around the ship taking, Hubbard would say, "Go tell the engineer to, turn the heat on the fans."
Mm-hmm.
And they'd run down and tell the engineer. And so she was a long-term, very loyal Hubbard acolyte,
Okay.
and I assume remains that way to this day. Just like Hubbard's daughter. I mean, Hubbard's eldest daughter is still there, Diana. Like all the rest of his kids, they're not in Scientology at all. They're all gone.
What do you mean they're gone?
Well, they left.
Are they still? They're still alive?
Well, two of them are.
Okay.
No, three of them. But two of them were in the Sea Organization. One of them was a very good friend of mine, Suzette. His second daughter, she was like the maid of honor at my wedding to Kathy. And she left the Sea Org, I don't know, long, 10 or 15 years ago, I guess. And the youngest son, Arthur, left the Sea Org a long time ago, and the eldest son of Hubbard and Mary Sue, Quentin, committed suicide because he was gay, and being gay in Scientology is a big no-no. And Diana is still there and is, I guess, hoping that Hubbard will come back.
God, I would freaking die to have a conversation with one of his kids.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
Holy shit. To hear some of the stories of growing up, having him as a dad.
Yeah.
God damn. So what is the grip here in Clearwater, especially downtown Clearwater with Scientology, seems to be relentless. And it seems like Clearwater cannot escape this tight grip of Scientology. It's been dead for so long. I know Scientology owns a lot of the real estate around there, but what is the deal with, and there's people walking up and down the streets 24/7 who, I don't know what they're doing, where they're going, but what is the deal with Scientology and downtown Clearwater staying the way it is?
Well, that Clearwater is what Scientology calls its spiritual headquarters. Clearwater is the top of the Scientology spiritual organizational hierarchy. It is not the international management of Scientology around the world, that happens in Los Angeles or in California. Clearwater is the spiritual headquarters. But what that means is it's where all the money is made. They make, upwards of $2 to $3 to $4 million a week there. And because people come from all over the world. Scientologists come from all over the world.
From auditing?
Yep.
Okay.
And ultimately, you have to come to Clearwater if you're a Scientologist and you want to go to the top of the Scientology bridge.
Okay.
You have to come to Clearwater.
Okay.
And all of the whales of Scientology, that's their organization. The people that have unlimited funds, the Bob Duggans of the world, who have, hundreds of millions of dollars. This is where they gravitate to.